Moving on to Hellraiser Deader. Deader. That's just a silly title. It does play into the film, but I don't know. Something about that title. It's silly to me. This was directed by Rick Boda. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bang. He is the same director of the last one and the director of the next one. So he has like a whole Hellraiser trilogy that he did himself. And I liked this movie. It's 7 for 7 now that I've either liked or really liked. So, man, this series is much better than I remember it. I thought these later installments started to get pretty terrible, but I enjoyed this. I kind of view like Hellraiser Inferno, Hellseeker, Deader, we'll see about Hellworld, as almost like a television series. It kind of reminds me of like a better version of like Freddy's Nightmares or something, where we just kind of get new, unique, cool stories, and then Pinhead and the Cenobites are just randomly placed in, parts to connect it to the Hellraiser universe, which I like. I mean, I feel like if these would have been standalone, like little anthology stories within a TV series, like a Hellraiser television series, like Tremors did, or as I said, Nightmare on Elm Street did, Friday the 13th. A lot of franchises went that route, and they actually kind of just went for this direct-to-DVD thing. What I like about these is that we get a feature-length film out of it, and they're R-rated. And some of the TV series went more of the, PG-13 or like, television rating type. And that's just not going to fly so much when it comes to these kinds of films. The R rating is very necessary in a Hellraiser movie. I can't even imagine trying to pull off a Hellraiser movie that wasn't R rated. I mean, is it even fucking possible? I guess it is. It would be awful. So that's how I like to try to view Inferno on. And it's working for me. I really like the lead in this movie, and I think that's what sold the movie for me as a whole, is I really enjoyed the chick here playing the lead character. I just liked her performance. I liked her attitude, her personality, her persona, her everything. Like I really enjoyed her, so it worked for me. And then, no, not because she's an attractive woman. Just she's good in this role. This was also shot back to back with Hellworld. They were released like a couple months apart. We have Stan Winston producing this, which I thought was cool to see. When the guy gives this girl her assignment, he throws in a VHS tape, and this happens in a lot of movies, but I haven't reviewed a movie where this has happened for me to talk about it, but it's something that happens in tons of stuff, and it just is so freaking silly. He puts in a VHS tape that was recorded on a VCR, a VHS camcorder, and the footage that they're watching has multiple angles that it keeps cutting to with one seamless audio track. Yeah, how'd they pull that one off? That is so dumb. They do it in all of these. They do it in so many movies. It just every single time makes me laugh. When she gets to where she's going, she bribes her way into this girl's house. She finds her dead body, and that scene where she's trying to like grab the manila envelope behind her, and then eventually she sees the puzzle box and she tries to grab that. That scene's actually pretty creepy. Like the dead body, the way it's hanging over, the way she's like trying to lean in. I mean, she could have got something and pulled it towards her, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Just getting so close to her face and the way the girl looked. The dead bodies in this movie actually look really cool. There's a lot of good artistic decisions in the film. I thought the director actually had some cool shots for low budget directed DVD kind of thing, or VHS probably when this came out. So yeah, I really enjoyed that scene, and another scene I'll mention here in a minute. But she goes in and she actually risks contaminating and disturbing a crime scene. And furthermore, she then runs out of the apartment like she's done something wrong, runs into the landlord, and instead of being like, there's a dead body in there, like, let's call the police, she knees him in the balls, which isn't going to do her any favors if he says something about her, and runs off. And it's like, I guess she just didn't want to be partied to it. Like, she didn't want to have to deal with the cops. She didn't want to do anything. Especially since, as I said, she tampered with a crime scene. But I don't know. Like, this guy has your description. He knows some little things about you. You're clearly a tourist. They're gonna look at it would be not that hard to find you. So and these are these kinds of logical things in these films that you just kind of have to be like, whatever. So whatever. Let's move on. And she goes down to this subway train, and not only does she see a body where the person is clearly like, has no clothes on, no shoes on under this like tarp she's wearing, but she's like bleeding profusely on the ground, and she doesn't even ask her if she's okay or anything. And then when she looks back, she's gone, but all the blood's still there. And I was like, really? You didn't say a word when this girl's bleeding all over the place? Okay, I guess. And then the car pulls up, the train car, and they have like their own private car in the train that's all like windows have been blacked out and whatnot. And I'm just like, what is this train? Does this run locally? Like, have they just taken it over? Or like, as I said, it's one of these things where you're just like, whatever. But I was like, what is this? This is like a little gang train or whatever. So yeah, they got their own little private train car where girls seem to just be showing off their privates. Oh man, there is a ton of tittage in this movie. Boobtacular. There's so many boobs in this movie. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, that's why you liked it. That's a reason. Sure. That's never a downside. But that is not the reason I liked it. It is one of the reasons I liked it, but it did not make my decision for me or anything. And I really like the guy in the train car that she goes and talks to, even though he has like little pigtails all around. I don't know if that's the gangster look you need to go for, but it's getting him a whole tons of chicks to make out with each other and get naked, so he's doing something right. Like the last two, there are so many fucking fake outs in this movie. God, it is the one problem I have with all of them. Stop with the fucking fake outs. If something happens, it should happen. But whatever. The knife in her back scene, when she finds the knife in her back and she's bleeding all over the place, and she's like, the knife sticking out the front of her chest, and she's trying to grab it and she can't. It's like in that part of her back she can't reach, and she like has to use a cupboard to like pull it out of herself, and she's just bleeding. The way she's like reacting and screaming and being like, oh my god, this is a dream, and all the blood and all the, I thought that scene was fucking fantastic. Seriously, that scene alone for me would have made the entire film. I don't know what it was about that scene, but it was gruesome and bloody, and I felt terrible for the girl and sympathetic. And I could feel her, empathetic as well, because I was sitting there like, oh my god, how horrible to like turn around in the mirror and see a fucking knife sticking out of your back and being like, wait, what? Great stuff. That was a great scene, honestly. Pinhead is just so not. This is another one you can tell that was just not written to be a Hellraiser movie, and they just kind of shoehorned it in there. That's why I bring up the TV movie kind of thing, TV episode kind of thing. But anyway, so Pinhead comes in and he tells her kind of what's going on, and then he's like, I am your redeemer, I am the way. And she's like, no, and like this. And I'm like, no, He just told you, like, this guy is trying to send you to hell. Here I am, the guy who is showing you clearly hell exists, and I am, the executioner, the pain giver, whatever the hell you want to call him. And he's like, I'm your redeemer. I'm the way out. And she's not even going to hear him out. She's not going to be like, okay, well, at least tell me like what you have to offer. She's just like, absolutely no way. I'm not listening to you, Pinhead. Yeah, I thought that was a little silly. Just being like, really? No, you're not even going to hear him out. I like that she just like takes some duct tape, like puts a fucking pad on her back, wraps it all around. Now it's sticking out of her back like this much, and when she puts the jacket on, you can see it looks like she has like she's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and she's in her disguise walking around. How those disguises ever work in that show? Just a trench coat and a hat. It's like, really? You can't tell? Dude, their legs are... Anyway, love that show. But yeah, then when she gets downstairs, all of a sudden it's just flat. I don't know. Maybe she changed dressings, but I like that. I like she's just fucking... This chick's hardcore, man. She's just like, I'm just gonna wrap this shit up with duct tape and a towel and get on my merry way and try to figure out what the hell's going on. And then she goes down to this train car, this private train car thing again, and talks to the guy for a minute, and then it just flashes and everyone in the train car is dead, mutilated, train car massacre, man. It reminds me of Hellraiser, Hell on Earth, when she goes to the nightclub and the bodies are just strewn everywhere, limbs are hanging from this and that. Cool scene, man. Really cool scene. Like, just carnage laying all over. Train carnage. I really like that. And then, like, this whole flashback where she's killing her extremely abusive father. I don't know. I guess it was supposed to be impactful, but because he was such a piece of shit, I was just kind of like, okay, good. Glad he's dead. Moving on. So I don't think it worked the way it was supposed to, but... and then Pinhead coming in at the end and just wrecking house, dude. Just putting all the, chains and hooks into that guy and then just tearing his body apart, and his limbs are all hanging. His, like, fucking innards are flying around. Great scene. And then he, like, kills all of them in a row, all lined up. That was cool. The Cenobites that are with him are new. I think there's new ones in every single one since part 2. I liked them. I like the look of them. Cool stuff. I always like these new Cenobite designs that they have in these movies. They're always cool to see. I wish they were in them more, unfortunately. Pinhead just seems to be, ever since I guess since the beginning, he is just greedy, man. He is just greedy for souls. It's always like, no, your soul belongs to me. It's like, don't you have millions, billions of fucking souls that you're torturing? Like, why is it, he's like, when it blows or whatever the hell happens to the box at the end, and he's just like, no! It's like, really? Like, you're just a greedy son of a bitch, man. How many souls do you need? It's like these rich assholes who are just like, they'll pollute the earth for like more money. It's like, you're already a billionaire. How much more fucking money do you need? Jesus Christ, will it never be enough? For Pinhead, I guess not. I still don't really understand what happened at the ending here. I guess she died and I thought killing yourself was a sin and you go to hell, but she kills herself and we don't see her again, and the dude who works for the newspaper or whatever sends some new beautiful girl on like the same assignment, I guess, and she's just dead. I thought that was going to bring her out of it, but I guess she's gone. I don't know. And did she just get to go into like somewhere else? Did she like get to... I wasn't fully understanding the ending. I was kind of bumming because I was like, wait, what just happened? I'm confused. So if anyone understands the ending, please tell me. I'm a moron. So explain it to me. I need it spoon-fed to me. So make it really easy. I don't use big words. Just kidding. Anyway, all right, guys. 2 more and we're done with this shit. All right.